Welcome to part 45. We are now moving on from Gerudo's Fortress. We are now going to go across the Haunted Wasteland that will take us to the Desert Colossus, which contains the Spirit Temple, which has the final sage, the Sage of Spirit. Whew, that's a mouthful. Anyway, to get into the Haunted Wasteland, we have to climb the guard's tower right here and talk to the gatekeeper, who will open the gate for us so that we can start crossing the Haunted Wasteland. And of course, the gatekeeper will tell us the 2 trials that we have to pass in order to get to the Desert Colossus. And of course, the first one will be known as the River of Sand, and the second one is the Phantom Guide. And of course, the Phantom Guide, we need the special Eye of Truth in order to see the guide. And of course, I have said Eye of Truth, so we can proceed. We can do this thing. Alright. In fact, I believe after you get the Lens of Truth from the bottom of the well, you can actually go to the Spirit Temple first. Yeah, you can either do the Spirit Temple first or the Shadow Temple. And because, well, yeah, there are invisible things, hidden secret passageways, and all that stuff, so I digress. Anyway, here we go, off to the Haunted Wasteland. And of course, if we deviate from any of the pathways, we will end up back at the beginning, and that sucks. Anyway, right here, that's the River of Sand right there. Now, we can either use the hover boots to cross, or we can use the long shot. I'm going to use the long shot. It's more reliable. Of course, what you have to do is target one of the crates on the other side, and it will pull me across. Now, we have to now follow the flags the Gerudo have put in place to get to the halfway point. Oh, and see that sign right there? That's pretty much an advertisement for us to go that way to see the Carpet Merchant. And don't go that way, folks. The Carpet Merchant does sell you items, but they are pricey. They're too high, and they're not worth it in the end. And I'll point out the Carpet Merchant at the end of the game. So yeah, just make sure you follow these flags, and what makes it difficult to follow these flags is the wind. You can see how the wind is blowing the sand everywhere, makes visibility hard on you. I mean, makes things very hard to see. So just make sure you don't rush this. Make sure you look for the flag, and eventually you'll see these 2 flags right here, and we have reached the halfway point. We are halfway done. Now, before we can continue, jump down this structure right here, and surprise, surprise, there's a gold Skulltula. And you know the drill. Just kill it, grab the token, yay. On those 2 unlit torches right here. Now, when you light them up, and you can either use the fire arrows or Din's Fire. I'm using Din's Fire. And when you light these 2 torches, a small chest will appear, and inside the small chest are 50 rupees, which is denounced by a purple rupee, but yeah. And then, of course, if you want, you can get all the pots. You can get pots for supplies and whatnot. And one of them contains a fairy. However, I was unable to nab the fairy to heal myself, because after a while the fairy disappears, and yeah, that's weird. Yeah, I'm not going to see the fairy again, so might as well cut my losses. Don't worry, I will get myself healed later on in this video. Of course, that heart little helps, so yeah. Anyway, once we're done with this structure, just climb back upwards, and we will begin the second trial, the Phantom Guide. And by Phantom Guide, we mean Poe Guide. Yep, a Poe will guide the way. It will lead us straight to the Desert Colossus. Now, to start this leg of the journey, we have to get on top of this structure. And even though you can barely hear it through all the wind and the music, there's that usual Poe swishing, that... You know what I'm talking about? Anyway, basically this says only with the Eye of Truth can you use the guide. And of course, that's when you turn on the Lens of Truth, and there's the Poe guide, so we start following the Poe. Now, of course, when we get near the end, we will see 2 flags. Don't deviate from the Poe's path, or else you will get lost and have to start all over, because this wind can be brutal. Also, partway through this Poe guide section, we will encounter some enemies. Like here, for example. These are levers. And levers have been around since the first Zelda game. And just like all previous Zelda games, they pop up from the sands, deserts, beach areas, and try rolling towards you and take some damage. The ones in this game are pretty annoying because they like pop out from right in front of you and you can barely dodge them. And you'll take damage regardless. Even though the damage is pretty minimal, they can still be pretty annoying. So if you can, try to avoid them. And yeah. However, if you do manage to kill a lot of these levers, a bigger, more durable purple lever will pop out of the desert and try and hurt you. Alright, after this long journey, we have finally arrived. We are here in this little area known as the Desert Colossus. And this is the Spirit Temple right there. Anyway, our first stop in the Desert Colossus, head towards these 2 palm trees right here. And right there, there's a cracked wall, which means we're going to blow it up with some bombs. And inside this said wall is another Great Fairy Fountain. Yeah. Goody, we haven't seen one of those in a while. And of course, you know the drill. Stand on the Triforce symbol, play Zelda's Lullaby, and she will appear. Yep, here we go. Here's that laughter again. And seriously, why are the Great Fairies in this game dressed like that? I mean, are they supposed to be leaves covering the body? Is that supposed to be some kind of shrubbery? It's not very convincing. But of course, we are limited to the graphics of the time. Although, the 3DS version does not help improve that aspect of the Great Fairies, but yeah. Anyway, this Great Fairy of Magic will give Link the last spell named after one of Hyrule's goddesses, Naru's Love. And Naru's Love allows us to create a powerful protective shield, and pretty much it will cost you a lot of magical energy, but during that limited amount of time that you are protected, you will not take any damage, and that's great. However, you can still get hit and knocked back by powerful enemy attacks, so be aware of that. Anyway, with that in mind, we have a magic spell, which I will demonstrate later on in this playthrough. And let's go to the Spirit Temple. Let's go find that sage, whoever this mysterious sage will be. And we might encounter the Exalted Nabooru, who is Ganondorf's second in command. So, again, she could be some trouble. So we have to keep on our toes. Let's do this. Let's begin. Alright, the Spirit Temple. Of course, watch out for flying pots. Now, there's some writing on both the left side and the right side of this room. So let's take a quick peek. Alright, past with the heart of a child. Okay, yeah. And this one here says power of silver to get to the future and from the past. Yeah, basically these writings here pretty much demonstrate how to proceed in the Spirit Temple. Basically, when you go up these stairs and go to the left, you will see a small hole. And adult Link cannot go into these kind of holes, but child Link can, hence the past. And see this block right here? We cannot push it as we are unequipped. We need the power of silver from the past, which means we have to go back in time as Child Link and come right back here. And how are we going to come back here as Child Link? Well, that problem is about to be solved because we are about to get another appearance from Sheik, who will teach us our final warp song. Yay! Here we go. Yes, we have learned the Requiem of Spirit. With it, we can warp straight here as Child Link and bypass the Gerudo territory altogether. Although technically this is Gerudo territory, but yeah. And notice that as soon as the sand pops up and blinds Link, Sheik disappears just like that. Magic? Something more? Who knows? And yes, folks, that was the owl. That was the owl observing Link and Sheik on their final jamming session. So, yeah, well, I don't know why that owl was spying on Link as an adult. I mean, in the past scenes with the owl, he usually appears as Child Link. But there is more to the owl than meets the owl. There is more to this owl, and trust me, we will see him one more time in this game. And the reason I keep messing up the Prelude of Light is I'm playing this game on my GameCube controller, and I'm using the C stick for my buttons, for the C buttons to play my Ocarina. But eventually I managed to get it, and, well, off we go, back to the Temple of Time, so we can go back in time, so we can come back here and complete the temple. Alright, and get this, folks. This will be the last time I will go back in time during this playthrough. This will be the last time you'll see the scene of Link thrusting the Master Sword back into that little pedestal and going back to Child Link, and yeah, we're almost done with this game. Can you believe it? I mean, Link has come a long way ever since that first dungeon inside the Great Deku Tree. So, yeah. Alright, now before we go to the Desert Colossus, I decided to make a little quick detour to get some bugs. I went to the graveyard, to be precise, because, yeah. Anyway, once you gather some bugs, we are now going to go back to the Desert Colossus. And the reason I had to get bugs is, remember those magic beans that I have in my inventory? We haven't planted one in a long while, right? Oh, yeah. In front of the Spirit Temple, there is a soft soil spot. And by now, we know the drill. We have to unleash the bugs to free the Gold Skulltula. And once the Gold Skulltula is dead, we plant the magic bean. And it will grow into a magic plant in the future, which I will use before going back into the Spirit Temple as an adult. Alright. You still with me, folks? Have I lost you anywhere? So, yeah. Again, this is the final magic bean. Are we tearing up? A tear's running down my eye right now. We're almost done. Almost done with this epic adventure. And we are one Gold Skull Tola token closer to freeing that big guy from the house. And of course, I'm still amazed that these magic beans survive and grow into these big magic plants, but again, it's magic. Think about it, folks. Enemies and weather and hot volcanoes can't stop these things. So yeah. Anyway, I had to use one of my fairy bottles in order to get the bugs. So should I warp out of here to get some more fairies? No! In fact, there's actually a fairy fountain right here in the desert. And see this dried up area right here? That's an oasis. And when what we have to do here is we have to come here and we have to play the Song of Storms in order to refill this oasis. And once refilled, we will get access to some fairies, which I can bottle up. Now, of course, you have to make sure you stand on a rock when you play the Song of Storms, and not inside the oasis itself, and because that's how it works, I guess. I guess it doesn't want the water to fill up while inside the thing. So, yeah. So this area, this Desert Colossus, the Spirit Temple. Well, the thing is, the Gerudo women, the Gerudo tribes, people, they pretty much don't like the whole three goddesses thing. They do not like anything associated with them. However, they do worship a deity known as Goddess of the Sand. And the Goddess of the Sand is pretty much, actually you see her she pretty much is carved into the outside of the Spirit Temple. So, yeah, the Gerudo women do worship something. They have something to believe in. That's different religions. I can respect that. And now I don't know if it's related to any other deities. I do not know if the Goddess of the Sand is actually real or a real thing, but hey, the Golden Goddesses, the three goddesses who left the Triforce behind, they're real-ish. So I have no doubt that there are lesser deities than the three goddesses, but hey, I'm not poking fun at religion in general. I better get off this topic before I cause negative feedback. So yeah, we're ready. You're ready to face the final temple. We're going to free that sage. Let's start here. See you in part 46.